I would now like to invite UNESCO Delhi Director and representative to Bhutan, India, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Eric Falt, to share the Director General of UNESCO, Audrey Azule's message.
Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Chandrababu Naidu, Her Excellency Rosa Otunbuyeva, former President of Kyrgyzstan and member of the governing board of the UNESCO Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education for Peace and Sustainable Development, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Director General Audrey Azoulay, I'm very pleased to read her message to all of you today. Let me begin by thanking the Government of India and the State of Andhra Pradesh for their support for Tech 2018, the first conference of its kind on digital pedagogies. Unlike other conferences on information and communication technology, this conference focuses on digital technologies as a tool for transformative pedagogy. The endeavor to mainstream social emotional learning through digital pedagogies is indeed a novel approach. Many would even say it is a contradiction in terms, but in fact, early findings from the neurosciences of learning suggest otherwise. For example, gaming for learning has been found to stimulate the emphatic parts of our brains. The Mahatma Gandhi Institute's flagship magazine, The Blue Dot, keeps abreast of these developments, and I invite you to consult this useful resource. Artificial intelligence, AI in short, is another area that shows great promise for education. It is expected to transform the way teachers work by offering new teaching aids and revolutionizing the way in which students receive personalized learning. It could also enlarge access, potentially leading to more inclusive education. Currently, there is no universally recognized institutional framework on the ethics of AI and its relationship to education. And UNESCO, with the support of member states, has begun to reflect on such ethical principles. By its mandate, UNESCO is ideally placed to play a key role in supporting member states to increase the accessibility of technology and promoting the use of digital educational tools that encourage learning. Additionally, UNESCO's role will be crucial for rethinking educational curricula by bringing into focus socio-emotional learning to build the emotional intelligence of future generations of learners. I am pleased that the UNESCO Mahatma Gandhi Institute, our Category 1 institute in the Asia-Pacific region, has taken the lead on exploring ways AI can be harnessed to integrate social-emotional learning into our educational systems. Progress has already been made with the development of an open-source, indigenously designed and collaborative curriculum development and learning platform that allows educators and students to innovate, develop, and implement curriculum. This collective human intelligence platform will use advanced AI and data analytics to personalize the learning experience for each user. The wide range of participants here today, including neuroscientists, development psychologists, ministries of education officials, policymakers, futurists, researchers, educators, students, and gamers, indicates the broad interest in this topic, and I am sure will lead to an inspiring debate. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the message of Director General Audrey Azoulay. Very briefly, on a personal note, as Director of the UNESCO New Delhi Office for essentially South Asia, I would like to express my solidarity and also admiration for the work of my colleagues at MGIEP. Ananta provides leadership in areas where most fear to tread, and thanks to him, MGIP has imposed itself in only a few years as a premier UNESCO institute. Beyond the success of the conference itself, the initiative of MGIP to develop guidelines for digital learning is, in my view, a very welcome and innovative one, and I really hope that it can be pushed forward for the next UNESCO General Conference in 2019. For that, it will need what I would call champions among the member states, and I'm sure that some of the countries that are represented here at high levels, beginning, of course, with India, will know how to lead the charge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now invite on podium Joint Secretary, Minister of Human Resource Development, Government of India, Dr. Sarvana Kumar, to address the crowd. Let's welcome him with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Respected Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu ji, Honorable Ministers from Andhra Pradesh, Sri Ganta Srinivasa Rao ji, Sri N. Chinna Rajappa ji, Sri Kidari Shravan Kumar ji, Her Excellency Roja Kutunbayava, Dr. Ananta Durayappa, Sri Adityanath Das, the Additional Chief Secretary, Human Resource Development Department in Andhra Pradesh government, and the honorable ministers who had come from different countries, Professor J.S. Rajput, who is India's representative in the UNESCO's executive board and also in the UNESCO MGIP governing board, Mr. Eric Falt, the Director, UNESCO Delhi office, the delegates who have come from different parts of the world and also the delegates who have come from different parts of our country. It's my privilege to attend this second edition of Tech Conference also. I was there in the last conference here, and I could really see the growing participation in a very significant way just after one edition. And I am sure for the next edition, definitely we would need a bigger hall, and I am sure Visakhapatnam, the way it is developing, will afford to, I think, give a bigger hall here, because that's the way the participation is increasing here. Dear delegates, I would like to mention a few things, like India being a very populous country and has one of the higher, very large educational systems in the world. And we always had some challenges in the education sector. To say a few, the important ones being the access and also the expansion of the system, the excellence and the employability. So they have been challenges because they had competing demands on the meager resources, with the country like India. But now technology, especially through the ICT initiatives, so that gives us an opportunity to find a fine balance between all these competing demands. So now we are in a position to achieve both excellence and also equal access in a very significant way. Why we need to really go for digital learning? Number one being, like, India cannot afford to go only for a brick and mortar model alone. India just cannot afford. And the second one being the quality contents. Like, if we have a GER in higher education system of around 25.8%, which is not uniform throughout the country also. States like Andhra or maybe Chandigarh, they have a very high GER. But then there are many states, remote parts of our country, where they have a very poor GER. So it is quite possible now through the ICT initiatives, the quality contents can be carried out to the remotest corners of our country also. And the third one is the multi-sensory approach involved in this digital learning. So that is found to be scientifically proved to improve the learning outcomes significantly. So the ICT initiatives can be used for promoting blended learning and also lifelong learning for all those learners who are out of the educational system also. Government of India has been taking various steps to promote the technology-enabled learning in both in schools and colleges. And I'm very happy to say the Andhra Pradesh is one of the provinces in our country who is a pioneer in this ICT initiative. With the able leadership of Honorable the Chief Minister Sri Chandrababu Naidu ji, who is considered as a revolutionary leader who pioneered ICT in various aspects of governance, including education. This tech conference of 2018, this is happening, this is being organized by MGIEP, which is the UNESCO's Category 1 institute located in Delhi. And from the Government of India, of course, we do give generous support to MGIEP. And I'm extremely thankful, and I would like to record the Government of India's appreciation to Andhra Pradesh government for extending their generous support in organizing this tech conference. And this is becoming a major hit, as I just mentioned. This is growing up very well, and it's really in a very good progress. I would like to mention, yesterday we had a high-level policy forum meeting on quality of digital learning. Because when we talk about digital learning, the major issue which we are facing nowadays is the digital contents. It is not the availability of contents. In fact, sometimes it is too much availability of the contents. So that's posing a problem. So there comes the importance to finalize some standards and also some guidelines for the digital contents and also for the digital pedagogies. A very useful discussion happened, and we have finalized a declaration in that regard. So that's, I'm happy to say it's going to be called Vizag Declaration. So now that will work upon the guidelines, and then finally the guidelines will be moved to the UNESCO's General Conference to be passed there. I would like to mention this Vizag Declaration is going to show the entire world the way how we need to move ahead in dealing with the digital contents and the digital pedagogies. So I'm sure MGIP will take a major role in this, and India is committing to take a proactive role in working with other countries to finalize the guidelines in this regard. I also want to assure in this particular forum that India's, especially Government of India's continuous support to MGIP in all their future endeavors also. And I wish this Tech 2018 conference a huge success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next speaker for the day is the Minister of Human Resource Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh. He also represents the Telugu Desam Party from Bhimli Assembly constituency. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, please welcome the Honorable Minister of Human Resource and Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Ganta Srinivas Rao.
Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu garu, Honorable Minister for Education, Human Resource Development and Religious Affairs, Canada, Enemilene Pere, Honorable Vice Minister of Higher Education, Egypt, Professor Dr. Yasir Rafat, Honorable Deputy Minister in charge of General Education, Ghana, Dr. Ya Vasio Aditwin, His Excellency Roja Otubuino, former President of Kyrgyzstan, Director UNESCO MJF Dr. Ananta Darapaya, senior policy makers from education sector, Malaysia, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Quebec, Senegal, Kyrgyzstan, distinguished guests, friends and students. Welcome to Visakhapatnam. It is indeed an honor and proud privilege to be present here in this prestigious Tech 2018 Global Conference. This is the second edition of a global conference jointly organized by Government of Andhra Pradesh and UNESCO, Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education for Peace and Sustainable Government, with the support of the Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India. The conference focuses on digital pedagogies for transformative learning experiences and building 21st century skills. It is pertinent to mention that the Government of Andhra Pradesh, under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu Garu, has given top priority to the development of education in the state and putting tremendous efforts to making the state as knowledge state and educational hub. On impact of his vision and sustainable efforts initiations, Government of AP has shown a phenomenal growth in education sector and made government educational institutions as smarter by providing digital and virtual classrooms, latest equipments, online courses, skill development initiatives, and effective monitoring systems by investing huge amount of budget. The subject chosen, particularly digital pedagogies for the conference, is timely and very important in the present global scenario. These digital pedagogies such as video games and AI-driven education platforms help in building 21st century skills such as design thinking, systems thinking, critical inquiry, empathy, compassion, mindfulness, collaboration, and communication in a stress-free and fun way. These are necessary skills for building emotional and intellectual intelligence in order to make learning a deeply engaging process and also enhancing learning outcomes. Tech 2018 is a pedagogically content-rich conference bringing together over 1,000 global experts from more than 60 countries to Visakhapatnam, including ministers of education, scientists, AI experts, data experts, legal experts, design and storytelling experts. The conference will be a place to train teachers on such digital pedagogies through workshops, engage in dialogue with experts, building partnerships, and learn from best practices to make Tech 2018 a memorable event. There is a growing need for quality, equitable, and inclusive digital learning resources across the world. This increased demand for quality edtech products represents huge in market. I am very happy to inform that Government of Andhra Pradesh is setting up the Intelligent Global Hub for Digital Pedagogies in Visakhapatnam with the knowledge partnerships of UNESCO MGIEAP. This hub is a unique ecosystem and will generate thousands of high-skilled jobs, train highly specialized talent, and in its expand innovation, bringing global research, industries, and investment to this region. Tech 2018, the Vizag Declaration will help to establish Andhra Pradesh as the skill capital of India, upskilling teachers and became a fountainhead of global talent, which is a key element in the state government of Andhra Pradesh Vision 2029, which calls for a holistic approach to development towards creating happiness for the people of the state. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we regret to inform you that the Honorable Minister of Human Resource and Development, Government of India, Shri Prakash Javadekar, will not be able to join us. However, he sent us a video message.
Dignitaries on dais, of the dais, international representatives who have come here, and those educators, edu-entrepreneurs, experts, policymakers, researchers, scientists, I salute you. Because this is one important seminar where I would have liked to be there, but as I am fully engrossed in Rajasthan election, I am unable to attend. But UNESCO Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Education is India's gift to the world. This institute has been built on global themes and is working tirelessly with new vision and in a mission mode to achieve educational transformation. Today, knowledge exponentially grows. Every day, new things are added to the existing knowledge. and at the same time there is progress of technology. In my school days, government that time in 1960s had launched Operation Blackboard, because blackboard was the necessity of that time. But today I am proud to announce, and in this budget we have already announced, Operation Digital Board, and we have drawn a final plan of it, and we are going ahead with it. Within next 4 years, all the classrooms, 15 lakh classrooms will have digital boards in each classroom from 9th onwards. And there are many schools who also have digital board, and very many thousands of teachers are using digital technology for furthering cause of education, creating interest in education, bringing rural students to the classroom, attracting them, and then giving them, enrich them with knowledge, new information in a new fashion, in a new way. That is very important. So technology is important, content is important, and we are taking help of everybody. We had organized 7 seminars. All state participated. Educators participated, teachers, headmasters, and those NGOs who are working in this sector of education, and edu-entrepreneurs, all were called. They were allowed to give presentation. Like this seminar also, more than 300 presenters will give them their ideas, because these ideas matter. And what we are saying is that all those Manthan Shivirs which we organized succeeded. And from that we have drawn up a new plan for education. Our national education policy is also now ready, and will be launched soon after the code of conduct is over, because there is election in 5 states. But after that we'll inaugurate it. We want to build character into a human being, because ultimately the purpose of education is to bring out a good human being out of it. It's not just overload of information which is important. Character building, value education, life skill education, experiential learning, physical education are all important for development as a good human being. Physical education teaches us discipline, builds stamina. Value education builds character. Experiential learning gives respect for labor and respect for how to do it. Otherwise, you are master of theory and practical, you are nothing. Then you are nothing. And life skill education. We must have those life skills, because without life skills we can't survive. But we must get proper education on that. When we came out with this formula of having all this into education, the moot problem was that today the curriculum overload is so much that students are under stress. And therefore, I decided and declared that we will reduce the curriculum by half within next 2-3 years. Pains and what can be reduced, and more than 10 to 15% syllabus curriculum reduction will happen this year. But more to come in following years. Because ultimately we need time for physical education, for life skill education, for experiential learning, for value education, and for physical education. Digital education is the way of doing the things. We want to build a good nation out of education. And to that end, MGIP has taken many leads. We are actively cooperating with this institute. It's our institute, and I wish this Conference 2018 a grand success. And I'm eager to listen to your recommendations because that's what I value. I take cognizance of every good suggestions I receive. So waiting for your good suggestions. Thank you and all the best.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker needs no introduction. He is the winner of numerous awards, including the IT Indian of the Millennium from India Today, Business Person of the Year by the Economic Times, South Asian of the Year from Time Asia, and membership in the World Economic Forum's Dream Cabinet, to name a few. He is a visionary who pursues innovation strategies with great vigor and determination. Over his tenure, he has introduced many market-based reforms and populist schemes. One of his most celebrated strategies has been on digitalizing governance. Ladies and gentlemen, I now take the privilege to invite on podium Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Nara Chandrababu Naidu.
Her Excellency, Madam, Government of Egypt, Government of Grenada, Madam Emal Pieri, Malaysia, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Quebec, Senegal, Kyrgyzstan, and respected dignitaries and invitees, friends, city. And also, it is #1 city in terms of cleanliness. You will have a nice time here. Excellent beaches. And also, if you see here, one of the most beautiful hills. Everywhere there is a greenery. And you will have excellent seafood here. You can enjoy your stay. It is the city of destination. Future destiny is here. This type of seminars will add further. Nowadays, in Visakhapatnam, we are conducting number of conventions. Recently, we had FinTech convention also. Now on technology, we are moving in a big way. 2017, we had first Tech 2017. It had wider participation in education. This time, I am very happy, second time. As a matter of fact, I am a strong believer in technology. Technology will bring transparency, accountability, speediness. Today, if you see, we are all in an inspiring time. Why I am using this inspiring time? Generally, if you see history, first industrial revolution, it is only small mechanization. Second industrial revolution, innovation of electricity. Third industrial revolution, information technology. Because of that, world has become a global village. Fourth industrial revolution, within no time, it is around late 80s or early 90s, information technology has started. Now, within 30 years' time or 25 years' time, fourth industrial revolution is going on. In fourth industrial revolution, if you see, technology, information technology, and also IoT is a deadly combination, Internet of Things. We are talking today, machine learning, artificial intelligence, even cloud management, even everything we are talking today. I am very happy my government is taking total lead in this sector. Today, all my government, all departments are online. Very soon, we are going to reach a stage. You do not go to any office. One smartphone is enough to do your business in Andhra Pradesh. Either government services through app-based, private services, everything, you can get it done. Either welfare programs, or development programs, or regulatory, or government to government, or government to private, everything can be transacted. That is the day we are reaching now. For that, we have prepared everything. I think this is the first government. We are having a content corporation also. That is where we are building either entertainment or knowledge or education, agriculture, you name anything, everything we want to bring. There are so many people here. You are having any content, I will be very happy to work with you. Either I want to go for outsourcing, you can sell your content, it is useful for me. Or otherwise, you can have direct access to us. You can we will market your content. If it is good content, through our content corporation, through our fiber grid, I can market your content also. That is the beauty what we are working today. I am very clear in this. If you see our growth rate in the recent past, 10.5%. But I am planning 15% over a period of 15 years' time. It is possible because of technology and also because of education. Nowadays, we need basic education is very important. And at the same time, to reach higher values, how to integrate knowledge with technology, it is very, very important. That is where we are all assembled here. Earlier, we are all, education means it is only a classroom. Even because of that, all students are fed up. There is no creativity. It is only sometimes teachers also going on teaching them. There is so much of stress. Now there is a creative learning, virtual learning. In our state, we are having 5,000 digital classrooms and also 4,000 virtual classrooms. Nowhere in the world virtual classroom is available. It is available in Andhra Pradesh. You can broadcast any information and you can have an interactive session with real time. So it is going to help in a big way. What I wanted to, this type of education, it is going to solve so many problems. Just now, earlier, so many speakers has mentioned very clear. We wanted to get all best universities in the world to Andhra Pradesh. Best schools in the world to Andhra Pradesh. What are all the best universities available in India? It has to be in Andhra Pradesh. That is how we are working. More or less, we are able to succeed in this. Here, I want to place before you, our government is moving forward in ease of doing business. As on today, we are number 1 in ease of doing business continuously. I wanted to be distant number 1 in ease of doing business by using information technology. And also we are going for ease of living. Anybody wanted to deliver, anybody wanted to have his business, it will be very easy, either development or regulatory or welfare. And at the same time, we are going by using technology, corrupt-free society. That is where we are moving. Recently, some surveys, they have given us Andhra Pradesh, one of the least corrupt states in India. Among them, we are in 3rd place. Next year, we want to be 1st place. And ultimately, we want to eradicate total corruption I want to establish corrupt-free society. And also we are going in a big way, most livable standards, quality of air, quality of water, quality of food. We are going in a big way ZBNF, zero budget natural farming. No fertilizer, no pesticide. As on today, this year, we are going to have 6 lakh farmers, 6 lakh acres of land in organic farming, that is natural farming. This is the biggest in the world. Around 8% of land is in natural farming. Even recently in France, they have given top 10 innovations in the world. One innovation on agriculture is ZBNF. That is, we got it now. I am very happy. We are very proud of it. If I give you quality of water, quality of air, quality of food, quality of health care, your lifespan will increase. Tomorrow, anybody want to live more years, you have to come to Andhra Pradesh and settle here. You will have better life, better living standards. This is where we are working. Happiness with quality of life. Life should be meaningful. One should enjoy life, not fatigue or stress, happily. Even education should be a fun, not a punishment. As on today, just now, Minister from Government of India has said very clearly, he is going to reduce 50% of syllabus. That is not enough. Every classroom should be a enjoyment. People should learn and enjoy. Even that is where I am very happy in this. UNESCO is working in a big way, gaming. Even while playing, kids has to learn. That is real learning. That is where we have to aim. I am very happy for that. For all these things, in every field I am working vision and also innovation continuously. What is innovation? What we are doing today, if you do differently to get better outcomes. And also, we are going in a big way, convergence. Everywhere today, silos. Even education. There are so many departments, they are all working a silo approach. Only one thing is very clear. One student, they are teaching. But so many departments are approaching. Every department is a silo approach. Then there is a problem. That's why we are going for convergence in everywhere. Now, Uberization. What is Uberization? How to use resources at most efficiently. And also for all these things, you have to use technology. Never we have imagined best teacher sitting one place. Virtual classroom, content, you name anything, it will be one of the most beautiful content and also most beautiful way of explaining or doubts clarification, we can do it today. Never we imagined all these things. Earlier, we used to learn only from teachers. Now, every student is a teacher now. You can go to internet. You can learn things. You can teach teachers. That is the order of the day today. If any intelligent student is there, you can teach really all students, teachers also. Ultimately, accountability, we are bringing in a big way. Here, continuous lifelong learning, life skills. Learning and de-learning is a continuous process. What you learn, it is unnecessary. Forget about it. Learn new skills. Nowadays, if you see technologies, I want to have every home, every citizen should be a digital literate. We are all talking today, what is the literacy rate? Tomorrow, day will come, what is the digital literacy? That is very, very important. And also, every home, there must be one entrepreneur. We have to think differently. How to act, how to do, and also everything is a project mode. You have to work it out. So with all these things again, I am very happy here. We are working with UNESCO. It is a model for the global community on education. So many people are here. What are all the contents we are having? Even gaming in education. What is the new contents you can create? Not inventing what you are already invented. So with that direction, we have to move forward. I am very happy, even today, UNESCO. Last year, we had some declaration here, Visakhapatnam Declaration. Even to start gaming university, you asked 50 acres of land. Before going or concluding this meeting, you decide which place you want. We have shown 4 or 5 places. I will get it done next cabinet meeting, allotment of land for you. I am very happy. After that, every year, same month, we are going to have this convention. This is under the same time, this Tech 18 is over. Next year, I wanted to know here, what is the progress and performance? So many brains are gathering here. Ultimately, all brains has to lead for future innovations. I am a strong believer. What all we talk, it is theory. What all we write, it is theory. What all we learn, it is theory. And at the same time, by using all these things, if you produce results, that is the reality. I want to move towards reality always. This meeting, you have 2018 Declaration of Visakhapatnam. 2019, we will have a review. Or we are able to move forward, or otherwise we are talking, and also we are only spending time. All these things we have to review. This is where I am very much interested. The organizers and also all participants has to cooperate with us. Ultimately, it is a wonderful time. You are in a wonderful place. Not only learning things, have a nice fun here. Enjoy your stay. I wish all the best. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such inspiring words. Ladies and gentlemen, next I call upon the Deputy Vice Minister of Higher Education, Egypt, Professor Dr. Yasser Refet Abdel Fatteh Mohammed, and Cultural Counselor, Embassy of Egypt in India, Mohammed Shukranara. Let's welcome them all with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, everyone. On the occasion of the International Conference of Digital Pedagogies for Building 21st Century Skills, with the support and endeavors of UNESCO MGIEB for education enhancement, and after a long day of yesterday discussing the quality of digital learning resources in present education systems in participating countries, and on consultations regarding VISIC declaration to launch the call for development of global standards and guidelines for digital learning resources, in addition to the precious opening address by His Excellency Chandrababu Naidu, Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, and His Excellency's talk on research hubs, it gives me a good opportunity to propose the intention of Egypt to welcome to address being the research hub partner for Africa and Middle East of digital education. This proposal comes from the belief of Egypt that education is a cornerstone in building nations that drives the political willingness, investing heavily for improvement of education system. It goes without saying that technology plays an important and direct role in creating a paradigm shift in education pedagogy. Since Egypt possesses all capabilities that makes it a good regional candidate hosting a research center for excellence in digital learning by having the potential research centers, universities, and excellence reputation in scientific research. As Egypt's future depends in large part on skills and resilience of its young generation, therefore, Egypt and its political leadership have obviously placed education on the top of country's priorities. More to the point, the political leadership's keenness to invest in the educational sector, citing President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi announcement that 2019 to be the year of education, which also concomitant to Egypt being chair of the African Union. For all of these reasons, we will be much looking forward to the support of partners in establishing this research hub on the land of Egypt. Thank you for you all.
It's a pleasure to have the honor to honor His Excellency Chandrababu Naidu, Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, to have the shield of the Ministry of Higher Education. So please accept our honoring to Your Excellency. And His Excellency Ganda Srinivasa Rao, Honorable Minister of HRD, Andhra Pradesh. And His Excellency Dr. Saravana Kumar, Joint Secretary of MHRD, Government of India.
Ladies and gentlemen, we would now like to make some announcements for our upcoming projects. These projects celebrate collaboration between UNESCO MGIP and our partners. May I now call upon stage the My Dream Project team, Deputy Managing Director and Corporate Vice President, Samsung India, Mr. Peter Ree, Vice President, Strategy, Investment and Corporate Affairs, Mr. Deepak Bhardwaj, Commissioner, Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, MHRD, Mr. Biswajit Kumar Singh, Joint Commissioner, Academic, Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, MHRD, Dr. A.N. Ramachandra, and Special Chief Secretary, Minister of Human Resource and Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Adityanath Das. Let's welcome them all with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I also request our dignitaries, the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Chandrababu Naidu, Her Excellency Rosa Otunbayeva, former President of Kyrgyzstan, the Honorable Minister of Human Resource and Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Ganta Srinivas Rao, and UNESCO MGIP Director, Professor Ananta Duirappa, to please do the honors. As part of the My Dream project, UNESCO MGIP, Samsung India, and Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya have joined hands to build a curriculum that strongly advocates project-based learning, socio-emotional learning, and use of digital interventions in classrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give them a huge round of applause. May I now invite Commissioner Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, MHRD, Mr. Biswajit Kumar Singh, to share a few words about the project.
Good afternoon to all of you. Respected Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Nara Chandrababu Naidu ji, Honorable Minister of HRD AP, Sri Ganta Srinivas Rao ji, Honorable Minister of HRD Sikkim, Sri R.B. Shubha, His High Excellency Roja Otuyeva, former President of Kyrgyzstan, and Director MGIEP, Dr. Ananda Duraiya. Firstly, I would like to thank Samsung India and MGIP for giving me opportunity to interact with all of you. And on the occasion of Tech 2018, Visakhapatnam, and initiation of JNV My Dream project, in collaboration with Samsung India and MGIP, in introducing project-based learning and social-emotional learning. Now I would like to introduce my Navodaya system to foreign delegates. I think they require some kind of introduction. We are an institution engaged in giving or delivering best modern education to rural talents of the country, wherein we select our students through non-verbal testing in class 6th and try to get talent who have the real intelligence and critical thinking, not rote learning as such. At present, we have 635 operational schools all over the country. In fact, all districts of the country are in general covered except Tamil Nadu. And we provide not only academic excellence, we try to have a holistic education on the line of best sports facilities, best cultural facilities, and best curricular activities also. Our results are one of the best in India. Many students are going to different IITs and different competitions. That is our basic brand value. In fact, when we have started discussion for this, I think 3-4 months back, on this My Dream project, on project-based learning and social-emotional learning, I was quite excited that whether we will able to go through or not. Now I am very thankful to MGIEP. We have come to the stage of initiating it. This is one of the projects where we are the most suited to the extent that we have more than 3 lakh students residing in different schools, studying in an environment that you can say asrama type, that used to be in earlier times. Teacher and students used to live in the same campus and used to experiment with different teaching pedagogy and come to some conclusion. With the addition of this digital learning and this project-based learning and social-emotional learning, I think we can have better educational environments in our schools, more joyful and more satisfying. I hope we will have a good research design and we will progress very well. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. Samsung India, as part of its CSR efforts and capacity building for digital instruction, is collaborating with the government of Andhra Pradesh for setting up 14 smart classes in Bachelor of Education and Diploma in Education awarding colleges in Andhra Pradesh. May I now request Deputy Managing Director and Corporate Vice President, Samsung India, Mr. Peter Ree, to share a few words about the initiative.
Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Chandrababu Naidu Garu, Education Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Ganta Srinivasa Rao Garu, Her Excellency Rosa Otunbayeva, former President of Kyrgyzstan, dignitaries on the dais, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to share the MOU with Andhra Pradesh government to enable a unique initiative conceptualized and championed by Chandrababu Naidu Garu, Teachers Teaching Through Technology. UNESCO MGIP has developed 200 hours of digital pedagogy course curriculum to be integrated into B.Ed and D.Ed courses throughout India. Samsung Smart Class, having been deployed extensively at Jawahar Navodaya Vidya over the last 5 years, with a total of 652 schools, have now been chosen to be deployed in this pilot program for B.Ed and D.Ed courses. On behalf of Samsung, I wish to thank Chandrababu Naidu Garu, Government of Andhra Pradesh, and UNESCO MGIP to enable such a creative and transformative first step in developing the skills for the 21st century. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next, I call upon stage CMD Kolte Patil Group, Sri Rajesh Patil, Senior Vice President, Global Development and Partnerships, Rubika Group, Dr. Manoj Singh, and Special Chief Secretary, MHRD Government of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Adityanath Das. Rubika is a higher school of digital creation, specializing in the fields of video games, 3D animation, and industrial design. And to make further announcements, I now call upon CMD Kolte Patil Group, Sri Rajesh Patil.
Honorable Chief Minister Chandrababu Naidu and all other dignitaries, we are extremely happy to announce that the setting up of proposed Anisha Rubika United World University, given the government support, we'll try our best to make it truly world class. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Minister, dignitaries on the dais, under the iHub program of UNESCO MGIP initiative, which is going to be set up in the city of Vizag, we are going to have a design university with the help of Anisha Rubika collaboration, and this is going to take shape very shortly. We are thankful to the group for coming to the city of Vizag and setting up a world-class design university. Thank you.
Honorable Chief Minister and all other dignitaries, on behalf of the Chairman, the Managing Director, the Chamber of Commerce and Industry Grand Hainaut France, and every member from Rubika family, I would like to announce that we are extremely happy and delighted to be part of this journey. Thank you, sir, for sharing the opportunity. Thank you, Ananta, UNESCO MGIEP. Rubika has been into design education since 1987. We operate from France, Canada, and we definitely look forward to come to the city of destination and build our future for destination. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. May I now please invite Education Head Unity Tech, Ms. Jessica Lindell, CEO. Just a second, ladies and gentlemen. I invite again CMD Kolte Patil Group, Sri Rajesh Patil, Senior Vice President, Global Development and Partnerships, Rubika Group, Dr. Manoj Singh, and Special Chief Secretary, MHRD Government of Andhra Pradesh, Sri Aditya Nath Das, on stage, please. Thank you, gentlemen. May I now please invite Education Head Unity Tech, Ms. Jessica Lindell, CEO APIS, Mr. Vinny Patro, Head Unity Education and Center of Excellence Initiatives APAC, Mr. Ramesh Hanumakonda. I will now give the mic to Mr. Ramesh Hanumakonda for the rest of the announcements.
Very good morning, and just in a short summary, we went into ground field in action, and in the last 3 weeks, we have mobilized students in Andhra Pradesh, around 1,900 registration for a gaming hackathon, did 5 workshops in 5 cities, and relentlessly when we went and mobilized, and we got 300 participation with no knowledge of developing games, and we were pleasantly surprised with 18 semi-finalists making a game, and that is connected to sustainable development goals. And that led to 11 finalists and 3 winners. I take the opportunity to get the winners from the Gayatri College, Team Deboli, which won 100,000 rupees and much more for their game, which is a video. Can I get Team Deboli's video? Which is playing an innovation officer. And can I kindly request Honorable Chief Minister to felicitate the younger hearts who made a game which is absolutely connecting how you can put games to learning in a sustainable manner. Thank you very much. With this, I would like to invite the second team, which made a fantastic virtual reality game, which connects digital farmers, where the farmer, can I get the digital farmers video, please? Which is a short game done by the Centurion University kids. Absolutely, I would not call them kids. They're now turning professionals in terms of making the video game for making the SGD-10, connecting how farmers doing traditional farming, having traditional methodologies of earning, were getting abused by the vendors. They take them in a fun way of how the farmer can learn new age practices and then do much more justice to the whole system. With this, I invite the third team, which is again from Visakhapatnam, from Gayatri College, Santosh and team, where they made a fantastic game. And can I get the third video, please, in the interest of time? It's a game which connects people to say that it's a high-octane game, which is a runner game. And all these games are available at the stall so that we can get more participation and encourage the young minds. And they made a credible effort, worked the last 24 hours not sleeping. They really made this hackathon possible. Thank you very much for a great opportunity.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you, dignitaries. For our next announcement, may I now request Head Program South Asia Adobe, Ms. Garima Babbar, Commissioner School Education, Ms. Sandhya Rani, and Special Chief Secretary, Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Shri Aditya Nath Das, to join us on stage. In a world of disruptive thinking, it may get hard to stay relevant sometimes. And it is at these times that the skill of creativity, design thinking, and problem solving become all the more relevant. Aligned with this philosophy, Adobe is setting up a skilling program on creative digital technologies in Andhra Pradesh. Let's give them a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. May I now invite Head Program South Asia Adobe, Ms. Garima Babbar, to shed some light on the project.
Honorable Chief Minister, Shri Chandrababu Naidu Garu, distinguished guests on the dais, delegates at this tech conference, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really delighted that we are able to sign this MOU with Adobe Digital Disha, whereby school students in Andhra Pradesh and teachers will get access to use Adobe Spark licenses for developing projects, for creating digital content, and for actually enhancing digital literacy. Andhra Pradesh is already on the forefront of introducing a lot of digital initiatives in schools. Just now, our Honorable Chief Minister and our Minister HRD have shared with you about the digital classrooms and virtual classrooms. We also have AP e-knowledge exchange portal for all the almost 300,000 teachers in this state, where they can share digital content, have online discussions, and also their lesson plans. And we're in the process of setting up ICT labs in the next 1-2 years. So I think this initiative with Adobe Digital Disha will be extremely useful, and it will add value to the already digital education underway in Andhra Pradesh. I'm really looking forward to this partnership, and we will take it effectively forward. It will start from class 6 to class 12. At the pilot stage, it will involve 500 schools and around 200,000 students and around 7,000 teachers, and we will expand to other schools in phase 1 and phase 2. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Sandhya Rani. I now invite Head Program South Asia Adobe, Ms. Garima Babbar, to shed some light on the project.
Honorable Chief Minister, Sir, Mr. Naidu, respected dignitaries, thank you so much for this wonderful partnership between Adobe and Government of Andhra Pradesh Department of School Education. It is an honor and privilege for us to sign this MOU today. Adobe is synonymous of digital and creativity, which are two essential pillars of education transformation, be it skill development and transformation in pedagogies in 21st century. Disha means direction, and early this year we launched this program and announced this partnership, and it's an honor today that we are going to cover 500 schools of Government of Andhra Pradesh. Our aim is to impact education and skill development for youth in the country by providing them digital creativity skills. We are in the age of transformation where technology is changing in the digital era. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, Internet of Things, it's evolving day by day. Therefore, being a leader in the digital space, it's our responsibility to ensure that we are able to bring forth the youth for global learning. Thank you so much, and we'll do our best in this partnership.
Thank you, everyone. UNESCO MGIP, in collaboration with the National Brain Research Center, Delhi, is pleased to launch the first screening app for dyslexia for teachers. This is available in 5 regional languages, including Telugu, Marathi, Kannada, Hindi, and English. I will now request MGIP's own cognitive neuroscientist and the brain behind the app, Dr. Nandini Chatterjee, to join us on the stage.
Honorable Chief Minister, on behalf of MGIP, I'm delighted to announce this app which we talked about last year at Tech 2017. As a cognitive neuroscientist, my research showed that children in India who grow up in biliterate learning environments, they learn to read 2 writing systems at the same time, should be assessed in the languages that they learn in. And we did not have an app in Indian languages. So we took the research further to develop an app which could be available for children in Indian languages, particularly for teachers. And sir, as you very rightly pointed out, for us, English is another language which is part of the Indian Constitution. And therefore, this app also has English. And I'm delighted to share with you the fact that this will be the first online screening app for teachers that is going to be available free for teachers to download and use to be able to pick up children with dyslexia. So why are we so worried about dyslexia? What many of you might not know is 1 in 10 brains is wired differently. Which means you can quickly, if you do a search of numbers, if there are 500 people in this room, 50 of us are certainly wired differently and may not pick up reading skills as easily as others do in the classroom. We now know that dyslexia is also one of the biggest reasons for school dropout. So though we might have large enrollments, how do we ensure that our children stay in school and acquire basic skills of literacy? Last year, when Anantha and I visited Andhra Pradesh to set up this collaboration, we recognized a champion very early on in the Chief Minister who very quickly agreed to set up the first school for difference learners in the Asia-Pacific region. It was talked about earlier too. And that's when we made a commitment that we would develop very soon an app for Telugu, which would be available. And so, sir, I'm delighted to share this app with you. I do not have anything physical to share with you, but we have something on the App Store, and I will look forward to come and shaking your hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Nandini. Thank you, dignitaries. Next, I call upon UNESCO MGIP Director, Professor Anantha Dweirappa, to enlighten us with his tech talk. The topic for his talk is Predators and Nurturers. Anantha has spent over 33 years as a science policy trendsetter. He took the position as the inaugural director of UNESCO MGIP in 2014 and has played a pivotal role in positioning the institute as one of the leading research institutes for education. He firmly believes in the power of science and brings in the latest researches from the discipline for building peaceful and sustainable societies. He is a fellow of TWAS and a fellow of World Academy of Arts and Sciences. Ladies and gentlemen, with a huge round of applause, please welcome UNESCO MGIP Director Anantha Dweirappa.
All right, everybody can hear me. I always would have liked to have met Nandini much earlier in my life because she diagnosed me with dyslexia about a year and a half ago. And I could have explained to my parents why I was. And I would have not had all that scolding for doing poorly in maths and all the other stuff. But the good thing is I found the right options. I was provided certain tools that I was able to get to where I am right now. And then she did another thing which I wasn't too happy about. She told my wife that this is hereditary, and that explains why my son was diagnosed with acute dyslexia very early on. Mine is only about 10, 15%, but he's in the extreme case. And so immediately the wife said, figures why he's had that. It's the father as usual. But today I want to focus the talk on a stakeholder that we have pretty much ignored in our discussions. We take the stakeholder for granted. We take this stakeholder to somebody who we think is the best for them. And that stakeholder I'm talking about is the student. And it across the whole range of age, but I want to focus on the child. And we are all parents. Today's talk was inspired by my own experience in school, but really going into this field, and I excuse myself, I apologize that I was trained as an economist, but I moved into education after seeing what my children have gone through, which seems to be very similar to what I've gone through. It has not changed. So we need to really look and keep them at the heart of our discussions over the next 3 days. Let's not forget the child. And so, that's a scary photo. Let me get that one out. That's what I do for my hobby. This is not working. So, as they get the technology done, it always happens in a technology conference. The technology doesn't work. But some recent statistics that came out from WHO are very disturbing. The trend, and the Honorable Minister Javadekar Prakash had already alluded, the CM also has suggested of a happiness society. That's his goal. For India, and I was really shocked that 25% of children between the ages of 13 and 15 have some form of depression. And these are the only reported ones. And we know many of us have this as a stigma, so we don't report that. So the real numbers could be much higher. And of course, everybody knows suicides are something that we really have to contend on. That's been increasing as well. The second disturbing trend is this whole notion of this rising sense of intolerance. We are not willing to listen to the other. And you can see this happening around the world. The whole option of to agree to disagree is not there. And I don't like tolerance. I don't think we should go for tolerance. Tolerance is I'm just tolerating you, and that's been bound by maybe the institutions that have bound us. It is about understanding and respect, and that's where we really need to focus on. Then the third, it's working. We have some really global wicked problems, climate change, migration. These are problems that we are going to be passing on to the future generations to handle, especially climate change. We caused it, now we're going to give them the problem, and they need the kind of tools to handle that. We haven't handled it very well. And then the fourth one, which is really problematic, is how education is becoming a private good. It should be a social good. As an economist, I couldn't put public good because education does not fit within the definitions of what a public good is. So I use social. But it has to be a social good. It is something that we have to offer to every. And SDG 4 talks about it, inclusive, equitable, quality education for all. So it's there. How do we do it? Now I want to talk a little bit about, this is just sort of kind of, I had peanuts in my hand, so I was thinking I could have peanuts while I talk, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. But these are some of the things that came out from our 2015 Youth Speak survey that we did, global. And this is to support that second, the rising level of intolerance, understanding. Some of them are quite scary. Fixed gender roles for men bring stability to society. In times of insecurity, you need to use force. This is the trend that we are seeing today. So the two main lessons, what we did was we did education for peace and sustainable. That's our mandate. What we find is that what we have right now is not working. It has had very little impact. Because most of those respondents actually said they have had some exposure to education for sustainable development, education for peace, education for human rights, and yet all the responses went orthogonal to what they should have been taught. Now, the good news is that they are empathetic by nature. The neuroscientists here will already have something sparkling in their heads because they know where I'm going towards with this. But we are empathetic by nature, so there is hope. The bad news, so I'm going to go bad news, good news, bad news, good news. The bad news is our education system. This regimented and instrumentalist by nature was a result of a one-year review that the MGIP took of 22 countries in the Asia-Pacific region. And the final result that became is that most of the policies, curriculums, and teacher training, all three, basically reduce it to a regimented and instrumentalist by nature. So don't question rote memorization. How many of the children are here? They will all sort of say, hey, that makes sense. Material wealth and prosperity as a key goal. Education is static. It doesn't really move. It has to be dynamic. It has to have feedbacks. It doesn't. one size fits all, competitive pitching against each other. I remember when I used to bring my report card, the first thing, so I'm very happy, I said, hey, I got 80% in my maths. I'm just pulling a fast one. It was much lower, but I don't want to tell you what that was. So I had 80% in my maths. And the first thing my mother asked me is, so who was the highest? So it's about pitching against each other. So it's like you got to get, instead of saying, hey, I had 40% in the previous exam, I've got now 80%, I've improved. But that was not the objective. So it kind of creates this, that inner person in there to compete against the other. And I'm going to shock you with a statement later on. And then the standard assessments, exams. The fact that you have an exam has already defeated you because you're so anxious before the exam that you don't have this peace of mind to go in there and do what you need to do. Is this exam mentality is causing us so much of stress. It's actually one of the primary factors for that depression and anxiety. And teachers know it all. I think the Chief Minister alluded to that one earlier in his speech. The kids, while the teacher is saying something, the kids are already Googling it and sort of saying, hey, that's wrong. Right? And then they sort of say, you just said something which is wrong. And if you get a so-called traditional teacher, you have to duck the chalkboard that comes at you. But I think these days that's illegal. But during my days, yes, it was. So I want you to sort of look at this very carefully because the objective is human capital and human flourishing as an externality. And so when you see a lot of this focus on emotional intelligence today, which has been pushed by a lot of companies, corporations, World Economic Forum, the focus is still on human capital. But hopefully by this socio-emotional learning, you increase productivity of that person. And it still doesn't address the issue of depression that we talked about, that I alluded earlier. So the reality is that externality is negative. It actually creates predatorial qualities. So this statement that I've made a couple of times and I still stand by it, that our education system is one of the best predatorial training camps that we have. It creates this to do better than the other one. It's always a competitive spirit. So we need a new approach, one based on science and evidence. And we had yesterday a discussion at the high-level policy forum, and I was happy to see that many of the members there, delegations from countries as well as experts, agreed to sort of say that many of the present dominant education systems are not supported by the best findings from the neurosciences. The good news is there's hope, but we need to train the brain. It doesn't come naturally. We got to, as I said, we are empathetic by nature, but you got to train those neurons. They're sitting there, don't use it, you lose it. So you got to train. At MGIP, we call it firing the Gandhi neurons. We wish we had coined the word, but it was actually termed by the neuroscientist at UC San Diego, if I'm not mistaken, V.C. Ramachandran, the neuroscientist, the phantom limbs neuroscientist. He called it Gandhi neurons. We think we should call it firing Gandhi neurons because you need to create the circuits, and it's just not a single neuron. So that's what we're creating, those neural circuits between the thinking brain and the emotional brain. So we have the science. This is not so much a speculation. We have the science. We still need to do more work, but then scientists always want to do more work. I think we have enough to start that process. So the facts, the brain is key to learning. Well, that's no-brainer. I wanted a a laugh there. The brain is a social brain because it has a rational, but it also has an emotional. We have kind of pushed that emotional part away. We're just so focused on building that rational part. And then the whole rationality has been dumped because I'm not sure how many of you read that book, Predictably Irrational, by Dan Ariely. We are not rational. And the reason we are not rational is because of that emotional. It plays a huge role in our decision making and the way we behave. And then third thing is neuroplasticity is key. It's that whole connections. And the good news is old people like me still have neuroplasticity. So there is hope. The young ones are much more elastic. The older ones are less, but it's not gone. So we can train. And the word you're keeping here is training that brain, linking that emotional to the rational. So this is, as a scientist, I had to keep this hypothesis and the propositions. So the hypothesis is emotionally, this is what we want. An emotionally resilient person is a person who is high well-being, and the externality is a productive individual. So I flipped it. I'm no longer focusing on the human as a productive. I'm looking at the human as a flourishing person with productivity as an externality. And the science says that works. A lot of studies in California and other parts of the world where they have included mindfulness, empathy training, they see academic success improve significantly. But the focus is not on that academic success, it's about the person. You address the stress values. You address that depression directly. So the proposition one is a whole brain approach necessary to produce an emotionally and intellectual resilient. Education systems need to adapt, and the early findings is we are there. We need to scale it up, and that's what we are here in this conference. So it's from predators to nurturers. That's the title which I did not want to put at the front, but I put it in bit. So the time is right. The internet has broken the information barrier. Everybody has sort of said, there's no need for textbooks. Just go to Google. But what we need to teach the kids is how you search for that news, because there's so much of fake news. There's so much of news so you need to know how to search that. That's a different skill. We don't teach that. The internet allows coordination connection across learners. We did this really well where we linked 5 schools across the world, had a discussion on migration among people from so different cultures, one from the US, Midwest in the US, one from Malaysia, one from India, and you should see the kind of discussion that was going on and how they change their perspectives. Internet allows freedom of choice. Agency is important. Here the whole notion is agency to the child, the choice. That's something that the internet allows. And then the propensity to harvest, this is the AI. This is something that we haven't, it's untapped, but the potential is huge. So here's what I want you to imagine. A child who learns by playing games, advances at his or her own pace. I wish I had a game, I go in, I play the game, yes, I advance, you pass your exam. Wouldn't that be great? Instead of then going for a 1 hour or a 3-hour exam, all focus on the exams, you play the game on a daily basis, and as you advance, means you have learned. If you don't, you go back. You continue working at that. So, and failure is purely seen as learning. The best way to learn is to fail. Multisensory, there's enough science to show that kids learn through different senses. Some are visual, some are more audio, some are text. So a combination, digital allows that. I don't read any more text books, printed books. I've gone completely digital because I can make notes, I can pull them out, I can compile them, synthesize them, And then now the latest ones, I can even play a game within the book. We got to communicate. We got to communicate across cultures. We can't always bring kids from the US to India to talk to somebody from Sri Lanka, Malaysia. We need to communicate. And the only way to communicate and dialogue at a cost-efficient way is through the net, through digital means. Can you imagine a child who co-creates curriculum with the teachers? By the time they finish the curriculum, you're finished. You're studied. I'm not sure what the teachers would say about that. And this is where we're really going in the next few years, where a child has a personal bot, which helps the child, drawing from the millions of experiences. So I'm talking about AI here. I'm talking about a platform which is able to harness all that data. So it's a vision, but I think it's possible, and I think we should start building it. So what do we do about it? So what we had done in MGIP is develop an initial platform. We don't intend to keep it. It's completely open. We want the developers to be part of the community. We want content developers to be part of the community. And we want the children to be part of the community. Because some of the best feedback we have had when we have been building on this is from the children. When we go to the schools and we present it, the amount of feedback that we got to improve it was so significant. And good suggestions. So with that, I'm going to ask my colleagues to welcome to the world of Kai.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is often said that necessity is the mother of all the inventions. But we didn't need to fly. We didn't need to go to the moon. Some of the greatest inventions of our times have come from a different set of inspiration, our imagination. And today, we are imagining the way you teach in your classrooms, the way you teach on a digital platform, and the way you and we, all of us, learn digitally. Today, we are reimagining the education system, which is digital, through our platform called Collective Human Intelligence, CHI. We knew that the traditional system had its own problems, but we also knew that it had its own benefits. We took the best part of it, merged with how we play games, both offline and online, and took the features from them to create a playground for learners and creators. So quickly, I want to show you a demo as well, and then we run through these slides as well. So traditionally, you have these courses that you are teaching in your classrooms, but you also are doing it digitally. So we have these courses on CHI, which kind of break down into these modules, and then these break down into these lessons. So far, so good. Everyone is doing this. You have these courses broken down into modules, broken down into lessons. But that's where the magic happens. So if you see on the left side of the screen, we have what we call these powerful things called blocks. Blocks is what give you these benefits as a creator to plug and play whatever you want in different multimodal scenario, as well as get a response in a multi-sensory way. So how do we do that? So we have these rich text and images, but you as a creator can use these cartoon strips also on the platform. And you can also have these videos embedded, 3D videos, 2D videos embedded. Here I want to kind of draw an attention that we have taken the power of good old link and broken it down. So if you have a YouTube link, we take the YouTube video directly and embed it here. If you have an infograph that you want to kind of embed, then we take those infograms and then it embeds right here, right there. We support more than 5,000 internet links and they get embedded right here. So you don't need to do anything, just paste a link and get the power of it. But there are the ways that you take responses from students as well. Right now, we are using in traditional setups like multiple choice questions. Match the following and fill in the blanks. But the way you collect responses is also going to change. Now, you'll not only be able to collect these responses through text and MCQs, which are boring, but also through what we call a journaling block. So now a student can write an answer to your question or share their thoughts, but he or she can also upload a file, video record his scenario or her scenario, audio record that, or draw something on a canvas. So the way a student or the learner is submitting the response or giving the response has changed inherently now. It is more multimodal as a way you present your information, but the way you collect these responses becomes much more multisensory. But that's not where we stopped. We also understood that collaboration is one of the most important key in education system, in the classroom structure. And that's why if we are bringing something to the digital world, we need to focus on the collaboration at most. That's why we have these discussions. Discussions are not only good for sharing data, but also sharing stories and your experiences. But discussions does not stay right here. Discussions get embedded within your lessons now. So while a child is having these multimodal, multisensory experiences, he is collaborating in an intercultural way to everyone around the world. So now your lesson, the book, the textbook that you had becomes so much powerful on a digital medium. It has these multimodal ways to kind of collect responses and multisensory ways to kind of share your experiences, but also a way where everyone is interacting with everyone around the world. But if you focus at any of these blocks, we have not put a time restriction here. Time restriction on something brings anxiety amongst students. It's a self-paced learning, the way you want to, the way you as a learner choose to. That's why you can go in any of these courses, in any of these lessons, the way you want to and whenever you want to complete it. There are no time restrictions on Kai. But as Ananta said, that one size does not fit it all. And that's where the innovation part comes in. What we have built is what we call a connector, and connector uses this good old thing called IFTTT, which says, if this, then that. And what it does, so let's say this is a MCQ that a learner is solving. As a creator, you can choose to connect this MCQ and say that one of these options by the learners is this one, then do that. And you can create these n number of tree kind of structure and branch them. You can give them different feedbacks. You can give them different badges, like a gamifying your classroom. You can update their progress based on that. So if IFTTT works on these rules.
You all can hear me well, right? But that's not all what we do. At Kai, for the first time, the creator get a chance to take cognizance of learners' emotions and sentiments. First time emotion and sentiment analysis is not being used for brand awareness or pitching an ad to you, but in the context of education, what we are doing is allowing the creators to do is pre-configure learning paths, non-linear learning paths for different learners, depending on the emotions that get invoked when they interact with your subject. So and why do you think that's important? I'll just share a story of two learners in 5 seconds. One is named Prashanti. She loves traveling. The thought of moving to a new place invokes a lot of excitement in her. And then there's someone named Sakshi, again a learner, who just overheard her dad yesterday in dinner saying that I lost my job to a migrant worker. As a creator, you're trying to teach how to increase empathy in your learners. Do you think that the same learning path would actually work for both of them? We at MGIP feel that that's not personalized enough. Emotions and feeling have to come into play. And that's where these insights, when you look at this particular word cloud, when you look at it, the journals which Devesh showed, you can get the most referenced journaling terms and phrases which a learner has soon, and it gets, the size of the font becomes bigger and bigger, more referenced they are. But then the magic happens is when you actually get a chance to hover over or go over one of the phrases. What you get to see is, you get to see the sentiment attached to that phrase and how that gets referenced on the word cloud, if you could just, yeah. So in any of that, it tells you how all your learners feel about that particular phrase which is being picked up algorithmically on your word cloud. Now this not just doesn't end over here. For all your learners which are geographically dispersed, you can see about immigration, how do learners from India differ from learners from US? So that sentiment then gives you that insight which you can then, in your next course creation, in your next intervention, take note of these feelings and emotions. Finally, the best part about pre-configuring the emotions by the creators is, one of the biggest concerns is related to data privacy and our own identity being taken for selling us ads and for other personal goods. Here, you don't need, even the anonymized data, because of pre-configuration and branching which happens, it can allow the learners to feel that personalized learning. At the same time, you get meaningful insights out of learners, how they are interacting with you. So on a final thought, I know we are running short on time, I just leave you. We are educators, we are creators, we are policymakers, we are leaders. We need to, when we created Kai, we wanted to create a mirror for ourselves. We do a spell check. We do a grammar check. What about an emotion check? What about a sentiment check? Or at the very least, a bias check. Because as educators, if we are bringing and throwing something out there for others to consume, are we inadvertently pushing our own agendas? Is that something which we truly want to do? So people who are us educators who do want to make a difference for our future generations, come on Kai, get a look at yourself and see whether your courses and learnings are going to stand the test of time. Thank you. With that, I'm going to welcome you to the world of Kai. Thank you.
On this note, ladies and gentlemen, we come to an end to the inaugural ceremony, opening ceremony of Tech 2018. May I please request the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Chandrababu Naidu, and UNESCO MGIP Director Ananta Duirappa to kindly proceed for the press conference. I also take this moment to extend our warm regards to the Honorable Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Chandrababu Naidu, Her Excellency Rosa Otunbayeva, former President of Kyrgyzstan, and the Honorable Minister of Human Resource and Development, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Shri Ganta Srinivas Rao, for supporting us in this journey. I now invite Honorable Minister for Education, Human Resource Development, Religious Affairs, Grenada, Ms. Emmeline Pierre, the Deputy Vice Minister of Higher Education, Egypt, Professor Dr. Yasser Rafet Abdel Fateh Mohammed, to join us on the stage for a photo opportunity. We also extend a heartfelt gratitude to the many distinguished experts, resource persons, and observers who have joined us from different parts of the world today. Also very thanks to our sponsors, Samsung India, Microsoft, Adobe, technology partner HP. We are partners Viativ and Eon Reality, incubation partner Govan Academy and 3DS for providing scholarships to 7 Indian educators for Tech 2018. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You may now proceed for the tea and the networking break. Teas are served right outside the corridor towards the main entrance. And after the break, we'll join for the catalytic sessions. Catalytic section 1, can social and emotional learning be taught by digital games played on machines in the same convention hall, V3? And catalytic session 2, reimagining education for the future, taking the planetary imperatives of sustainability and digital revolution